Hello, my students. This is me, Teacher Abrar. How are you today? Inshallah, today we will start with ActionPack, Unit 14. We didn't live in a city. I want from you to notice that we will take from this unit only grammar, simple past tense, statements, negative, and the questions. Maybe next lesson we will start with the questions. Yeah. So today we're gonna be talking about simple past tense. We're gonna talk how to make simple past tense statements. Okay, so first let's talk about when we should use simple past tense. When we should use simple past tense. We use the past simple to talk about a past and finished action at a certain moment or a period in the past. So look at this timeline. We have three tenses in English: past, present, future. Here, started action and finished action. So actions that started and finished in the past. So actions that started and finished in the past. When we use the simple past tense, it's an action that started and ended in the past before now. Understood? So here we have started action. Here we have finished action before now. So now, actions that started and ended in the past. As we know, teacher, for today, these actions which happened at a specific point in time, at a specific point of time means or can be yesterday, an hour ago, last week. I want from you to concentrate on these keywords. At a specific time, point in time, can be yesterday, 3 days ago, last week, last month. Okay, so now we know when we should use simple past tense and we know why we should use simple past tense. But now, how do we make simple past tense statements? In the simple past tense, we have regular and irregular verbs. You have to keep them in mind. Irregular verbs have special past tense forms. They do not end in D or ED. You will need to memorize these special forms. For example, drive, drove. So teacher, irregular verbs. Some verbs are irregular verbs. Irregular verbs do not have a special or a simple rule for understanding. How to change them? In past tense, there is no rule. There is no rule for these verbs. You simply have to remember them. You have to read them, listen to them, until you can remember the correct verb. So the past of drive, drove. Regular verbs. When forming the past tense of regular verbs, add D or ed to the present tense form of the verb. Example, cook, cooked. So look at cook plus ed, cooked. You do, verb plus ed. Talk, which becomes talked. Play, which becomes played. So is the basic form for simple past tense verbs. But please teacher, keep in mind, this is only for regular verbs. Not all verbs are regular verbs. The irregular and irregular verbs, you have to keep them in mind, to remember them, to listen to them, to read them. Regular verbs, verb plus ed. I want to give you an example of irregular verb. You have to remember them, to study them, to listen to them again and again. For example, begin, began, drink, drank, ride, rode, run, ran, write, wrote, wake, woke, swim, swam, sing, sang, sing, sang, ring, rang, know, knew, get, got, give, gave. Now, so here we're gonna be talking about how to make simple past tense sentence statement. So the verb here is give. The verb here is give. I want to use the verb give. So, however, give is an irregular verb, so I can't use the ed rule for regular verbs. So the correct changing is give, gave. Let's practice with each other. Yeah, let's start. Put in the verbs in the correct forms. Go, which becomes went. Enable editing. Wait a minute. Yeah. Go, which becomes went. Say, said. Do, did. Come, came. Practice with me, please. Have, had. Put in the verbs in the correct forms. Stand, stood. Make, made. Buy, bought. Sit, sat. Swim, swam. Speak, spoke. See, saw. Write, wrote. Sing, sang. Run, ran. Understood? Got it, teacher? Statements. Here, this is Ali. What did he do? Ali had sandwich yesterday. So, the verb here is eat. But I want to change it into simple past verb. So, eat is an irregular verb. So, I can't use the ed rule for regular verbs. So, I write here Ali ate. Ali ate. Understood, teacher? Yeah. Sentence number 2. I my hands last week. What did you do last week? What did you do last week? I. So the verb here is wash. I want to change it into simple past verb. So wash is a regular verb. So wash, washed. So I washed my hands last week. I washed my hands last week. Now, read and discuss with your teacher. This table includes examples with keywords. Keywords, a key for the question, a key for the sentence. In the past, I lived in a village. Last week, they went to the market. Yesterday, he listened to the radio. 5 days ago, she used a computer. When we were young, we walked to school. So, I want from you to notice that it can be at the beginning of the sentences, all the keywords, it can be at the beginning of the sentences. And here, all the keywords, it can be at the ending of the sentences. I lived in a village in the past. They went to the market last week. He listened to the radio yesterday. She used a computer 5 days ago. We walked to school when we were young. These are keywords, examples with keywords. The keywords can be at the beginning of the sentence or at the ending of the sentence. The structure is subject, the form of simple past verb, then the complement. The keywords can be at the beginning or at the ending of the sentence. Yeah, put the verbs into the correct form in this paragraph. All this paragraph, teacher, in simple past tense. How do we know, teacher? Look at the beginning last year. So all the actions started and ended in the past. Last year, I spent my holiday in Ireland. So spent, the past of spent, spent. I spent my holiday in Ireland. It be great. The verb here is be. Be is an irregular verb, so I change it into was. I travel around by car with 2 friends and we visit lots of interesting places. So I traveled. We visited. Visit is a regular verb. Travel is a regular verb. So here traveled and here visited. In the evenings, we usually go to a pub. So here went. One night, we even learned some Irish dances. So learn, the past of learn, learned. We be very lucky with the weather. So be, it can be the past of be was or were. Was for the singular and were for the plural. We were very lucky with the weather. It not rain. Here we have a negative of simple past. Later on we will talk about it. It didn't rain. Notice that after didn't we have the base form of the verb, the simple form. So finally, but we see some beautiful rainbows. So the idea of this paragraph that we have simple past action. So I want to change all the verbs into simple past verbs because all of these actions happened last year. I spent, it was, I traveled, we visited, we went, we even learned, we were, it didn't rain, but we saw. So all the verbs should be in simple past tense. Yeah. Now we have a homework. In your classwork notebook, rewrite the 3 sentences here. Correct the verbs between brackets in your classwork notebook. Number 1, yesterday, Dad, me to the dentist, take. I, Susan, at the park last Friday. Meet. Tony, by plane 3 hours ago, travel. So correct the verbs between brackets in your classwork notebook and rewrite all the sentences, please. Now, teacher, we finished statements. Now, let's get started with simple past tense negative sentences. It's so simple. we have one rule. Before the verb, we put did not, and we change the verb into base form, into simple form, infinitive verb. So read and discuss the difference. I did not live in a village in the past. They did not go to the market last week. He did not listen to the radio yesterday. She did not use a computer 5 days ago. We did not walk to school when we were young. So notice that before the verb live, we have did not. Before go, we have did not. Before the verb lesson, we have did not. Before the verb use, we have did not. Before the verb walk, we have did not. And if you notice that all the verbs, we change them into base form. It was, I lived in the village. So in the negative, I did not live in the village. Now, they did not watch TV yesterday. So the structure is subject, did not, the base form of the verb, then the complement. He did not wake up early. The structure is he did not, or the short form didn't, wake up early. So let's complete. Change the sentences into negative. Mr. Johnson Mrs. Johnson painted her house last year. We put the subject, Mr. Johnson, then did not, and look at the verb painted. We change the verb painted into simple form, into base form, paint. Number 2, I played computer games with my friends. Look at played. It was statements, and I want from all of you to change it into negative. So I put here, the structure is subject, then did not, before the verb, then the verb. It's wrong to put I didn't played. You have to change the verb into base form, infinitive. So I did not play, I did not watch, I did not clean. Then the complement of the sentence. The monkey climbed the tree when we were at the park. So I write here the subject, then the short form of did not, then I change the verb into base form, infinitive, climb the tree when we were at the park. The bus moved fast, so I walked to school. The bus didn't move, so I didn't walk to school. So I change here two verbs, moved and walked. According to understand the sentence, the bus moved fast, so I walked to school. When bus didn't move fast, so I didn't walk to school. So moved, it becomes didn't move. Walked, it becomes didn't walk. The bus didn't move fast, so I didn't walk to school. So the structure is subject teacher, the negative statements, subject, did not, then the base form of the verb. I want to do this sentence with all of you. He stayed in a tent in Wadi Rum last week. I will rewrite the subject, he. I want from all of you to change it into negative with me. Negative mean did not plus the base form of the verb. He did not. Stayed, no, it's wrong. I want to change stayed into base form of the verb, so stay. He did not stay in a tent in Wadi Rum last week. Number 2, They traveled by car in the desert. So I want from you now to change it into negative with me. So I will rewrite the verb, the subject, they, then did not, before the verb. Then I change the verb into base form, travel, then the complement of the sentence. Understood, teacher? Homework, change the following sentences into negative in your classwork notebook. You have to rewrite both of these sentences in your classwork notebook and change them into negative statements. Thank you, teacher, for watching. Thank you for watching. I hope from all of you to study simple past tense statements and negative with me, and write your question if you have. Thank you, teacher. Thank you.